Hey, Shalom, guys. This is part 2 at trying to show y'all where the 70-year captivity lie was inserted. I just did a video on Jeremiah 25, and that's where the 70-year captivity lie was inserted. And this is Jeremiah 29. This is another chapter. But I do want to, give all esteem to YAHUAH in full truth. And I'm going to prove to y'all, which most can't do. I'm telling you, I'm trying to help people. I'm trying to sincerely help people turn back to Him that don't see that they're in idolatry still. And, I'm getting treated terribly on the backlash when I'm being sincere. But, I'm gonna just keep, quit getting hurt by them. And just know that they're only hurting themselves, If they want to reject His truth, let them go ahead. If they want to keep spreading the lies in His name, provoking His anger against them still, go ahead. See, everybody's doing, not everybody, but most of His people are still doing exactly what was being done, that was being done back in the land. And that's why it was told to them, so they don't do it again. And they're doing all of it again. And He even exposes, I can show y'all, I didn't come up with it. When I was seeing people coming out of the New Testament and saying Yah only, I was like, okay, there's this remnant. I know I'm trying to cleave on to Yasharel, who I see the remnant. I'm like, okay, yeah, these are the remnant. He showed me different in His word by continuously studying it. He showed me and helped me understand why. Those that are saying, as surely as YAHUAH lives, yeah, you're denouncing JC. You're saying he lives, he didn't die. And then he says that the people back then in the land, they were still lying. They were still lying. They was taking the oath saying, as surely as YAHUAH lives, but they were still lying. And He exposes why through the books of wisdom. He exposes these books of wisdom, which are the Second Temple books. These are the secret sealed books that He exposes. Isaiah 29, Deuteronomy 29:29. He says He has no secrets. In between Deuteronomy 29, so 28, and then Deuteronomy 30, there is no in-between secrets and sealed books, Second Temple era prophesied. And that's why He says there's no secrets. It's not in heaven. It's not across the sea. He exposes the king from the east, Isaiah 41. He proves King Cyrus didn't come to pass. He's exposing all kind of stuff, and His people are not seeing it. I would much rather get on here and look up. I tried to do that. And then I learned they're all lying in His name. Still, even though they're saying Yah only, they're still telling lies. They love these false books. They come out of the New Testament, but they love these false books. And the books of wisdom. And the made-up Jewish Tanakh. It was literally made up. It's a bunch of books. It's not just, 4 books that they list as Ketuvim. The Ketuvim is the whole books of wisdom, the Second Temple books, which include a lot of books of wisdom. The Apocryphas are trash. Everything contradicts Isaiah 8:20. We're supposed to speak according to that. If we're not, we're in the dark still. And I can prove how, His people are still in the dark, but I know they ain't going to listen. I know there's somebody out there that will listen. And that's who I'm trying to help, With no pride attached, I'm broken as heck. I'm barely making it, holding on to Him alone. I'm praying that He comes fast, I pray, I don't even feel like I'm going to make it. I pray my judgment is swift. I want it to come now. I'm tired of Babylon. I'm tired of being oppressed by His own people and all this. I'm tired of it. I took a beating for a long time for His people, from His people. After I'm out standing up, confessing who His people are. But I didn't get back to, I praise YAHUAH alone. I denounce JC, the morning star, the sun, and then I denounce this chick named Wisdom in the book of Proverbs, who's in all the book of wisdom. And, Isaiah 47 exposes her, the virgin daughter of Babylon, who you are calling your mother, the stone. You got to denounce her too. I denounce her fully. He put y'all into the hands of them two, the wood and stone, the ones you're calling your father and your mother. You got to let go of your mother too. I'm not lying. I'm not a liar. I don't appreciate you calling me a white bee and all this stuff that y'all talk trash, and I'm a slave and all this. You know what? Yahuwah knows how I feel. I'll do whatever he wants to. I'll be the best slave if that's the case. Everybody will want me as their slave. I got a good heart, and I'll do anything for anybody. And I am trying to cleave to y'all. But see, the ones that ain't letting us cleave, I'm sure you ain't part of that remnant. Why y'all think he sits there and says over and over, don't oppress the stranger? As you was once strangers too, your ancestors. But of course, y'all doing exactly what these people were thrown out of the land for doing. Too, they were doing everything. It was horrible. They all refused to quit serving these other gods. They quit refusing to serve the Queen of Heaven, which is the moon. And they refused to quit serving this Tammuz dude, which is the sun, Ezekiel 8. They struck a covenant made with death, Isaiah 28. That's why Yahuwah says he's laying a foundation stone, that a tested cornerstone that's from, of old. He's tested, is David. There's no other elect one coming. The only ones that he's calling, what we're looking for, ain't no Elijah, ain't no dang Michael and all this lies in the book of wisdom, because the wisdom of the wise is going to perish. Okay? And so the only servants that he's raising up is the ones I see in his true prophets, Isaiah, Jeremiah, and Ezekiel being spoken, is David. David is the only one shepherd prophesied over Yasharel in the end times. And then the righteous branch is going to come out from him that he never had. And then Koresh's prophecy was falsely fulfilled in Isaiah 41, 44, 45, 46, and 48. All those are future prophecy, falsely fulfilled. And then, Yasharel's going to be his servant, and he's going to glorify and strangers too. I mean, he's promising them the sure mercies of David, and that if we are obedient to him, that he's going to give us a name that won't be cut off, I don't care if I'm the least. Put me at the very least. I'll be in the very back. I don't care, just as long as I can be there. And I can love Yahuwah. I can serve Yahuwah and do what I love to do. This is what I love to do. I love his word. I don't want to do anything else in this world. This is what I do. I love his word. So I'm so sorry for making this 8 minutes. But I had to explain a little bit, because these people are ruthless out there, man. I don't know, man. But I'm going to get to this. This is the chapter that none of them can see. I mean, ain't nobody here in this chapter. I can't find nobody that's actually understanding in full context what this chapter is saying. They insert the 70-year captivity lie here in this chapter, and I'm going to show you. Sorry for all the talking. Okay. Now, these are the words of the sefer that Jeremiah the prophet sent from Jerusalem to the remnant of the elders which were carried away captives, and to the priests, and to the prophets, and to all the people whom Nebuchadnezzar had carried away captive from Jerusalem to Babel. After Jeconiah the king, and the queen, and the eunuchs, and the princes of Yehudah, and Jerusalem, and the carpenters, and the smiths were departed from Jerusalem, by the hand of Elisad, the son of Shaphan, and Gemariah, the son of Hilkiah, whom Zedekiah, king of Yehudah, sent to Babel, to Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babel, saying, Thus says Yahweh, the Allah of Yasharel, to all that are carried away captives, whom I have caused to be carried away from Jerusalem to Babel, build ye houses, and dwell in them, and plant gardens, and eat the fruit of them. Take ye women, and beget sons and daughters. Take women for your sons, and give your daughters to men, that they may bear sons and daughters, that you may be increased there and not diminished. And seek the peace of the city whither I have caused you to be carried away captives, and pray to El Yahuwah for it. For in the peace thereof shall ye have peace. For thus says Yahweh, the Allah of Yasharel. See, you got to pay attention, listen to him. This is where I'm getting everything that I'm getting, and this is where I'm getting it from. For thus says Yahweh, the Allah of Yasharel, let not your prophets and your diviners that be in the midst of you deceive you, neither hearken to your dreams, which you cause to be dreamed. For they prophesy falsely to you in my name. I have not sent them, says Yahweh. And you know, when he says to your dreams, which you cause to be dreamed, that makes me think of Joel. Joel is having people cut off left and right. I mean, per Yahuwah's word. Whether he has mercy on y'all, I don't know. He's the judge. But I'm telling you what his word says. It's not my word. It's all about what he says. That's what I try to show, is what Yahuwah says. Expose the lies, the false prophets, and show what Yahuwah really says. Neither hearken to your dreams, which you cause to be dreamed, for they prophesy falsely to you in my name. I have not sent them, says Yahuwah. Now, this is where everybody, if you cherry pick, you will think Yahuwah does say after 70 years, that y'all can return back to the land. He's going to have pity and mercy on you, and you can rebuild this second temple myth. No, that's not what he's saying. He's actually telling us in verse 10 what the lie that they're telling. Because remember, he says up here, let not your prophets and your diviners be in the midst of you, deceive you, neither hearken to the dreams you're being caused to be dreamed. So there's false prophets being raised up in Babylon. For thus says Yahweh. He's telling us the lie they're telling. This is a tricky chapter to understand, but when you read in full context, you should see the truth. For thus says Yahweh, that after 70 years be accomplished at Babel, I will visit you and perform my good word towards you, and causing you to return to this place. That's not what he's saying. He says, for I know the thoughts that I think towards you, says Yahweh, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. Verse 12. Then shall you call upon me. When? In those days. Other translations say in those days, which is now. It's in the latter days. See, the Torah prophesies. See, he says the wise don't know his Torah because they still believe in this second temple myth. Okay? And in the Torah, future prophecy is already written. From Deuteronomy 28, the curses for disobedient, to Deuteronomy 30. In these last days, when these curses, blessings and curses come upon you, he's calling heaven and earth to record our choice of either life or death. Yahweh's name's the only one that's mentioned. Your cross-reference to idols of wood and stone, to the book of Jubilees and Acts. Okay? But, yeah. So, okay. Where did I pick up? Okay, right there. Verse 12. In those days shall you call upon me, and you shall go and pray to me, and I will hearken to you, and you shall seek me and find me when you shall search for me with all your heart, and I will be found of you, says Yahweh. That's going on right now. And then I will turn away your captivity, and I will gather you from all the nations and from all the places whither I have driven you, says Yahweh. I will bring you again into this place whence I caused you to be carried away captive. Because ye have said, Yahweh has raised up prophets in Babel. Know that, thus says Yahweh, of the king that sits upon the throne of David, and of all the people that dwell in the city, and of the brethren that are all not gone forth with you into captivity. See, he left people back in the land in Jeremiah to keep the land going. The captivity probably wouldn't have been long if his people were listening. But the people that were already in exile, they weren't listening. They was thinking prophets had been raised up in Babylon. And those people that were left back in the land in Jeremiah, okay, once that guy got killed, I can't remember, that ambassador they set up over the people in the land to keep it going. Because, the captivity probably wouldn't have been long if they would all subjected under King Nebuchadnezzar and did what he said to do. Their captivity probably wouldn't be long, but they did not listen, and neither did the ones back in the land. Once that dude got killed, Jeremiah went to Yahuwah and he said, "Tell them, don't flee to Egypt. Stay back here in the land." They saw something like once that guy got assassinated, that I can't remember exactly, but anyways, he said, if you flee to Mitzrayim, I'm laying a foundation stone there, and you will be captured by King Nebuchadnezzar, and he will bring you to Babel. So, anyways, They are not gone forth with you into captivity. Thus says Yahweh, behold, I will send upon them the sword, the famine, and the pestilence, and will make them like vile figs. Because why? They were thinking prophets were being raised up in Babylon. And that's what his people are doing still today. They're listening to false prophets raised up in Babylon. Deuteronomy 13, he says he's going to test his people through false prophets, dreamer of dreams, to see whether or not they truly love him with all their heart or not. And these false prophets lead them to idols of wood and stone. And I was sent upon them the sword, famine. Okay, they cannot be eaten. They're so evil. And I will persecute them with the sword and the famine and with the pestilence. And I will deliver them to the removed to all the kingdoms of the earth to be a curse, astonishment, a hissing, and a reproach among all the nations whither I have driven them, because they have not hearkened to my words, says Yahweh, which I sent to them, my servants, the prophets, rising up early and sending them. But ye would not hear, says Yahweh. Hear ye therefore the word of Yahweh, all ye of the captivity, whom I have sent from Jerusalem to Babel. Thus says Yahweh, the Allah of Yasharel, of Ahab, the son of Koliah, and of Zedekiah, the son of Maaseiah, which prophesied a lie to you in my name. Behold, I was delivered to him into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babel. He shall slay them before your eyes, and them shall he taken up cursed by the captives of Yehudah, which are in Babel, saying, Yahweh make you like Zedekiah and like Ahab, whom the king of Babel roasted in the fire. So no kings, priests, or prophets are being raised up in captivity. He's trying to make an example of that, because they have committed villainy in Yasharel and have broken wedlock with their neighbors' women and have spoken lying words in my name. That's why he took the prophets away and stuff. He banished the princes of his sanctuary. He hid himself. He said y'all was going to worship wood and stone, not him. See, most people miss the part where he says that he hid himself, that he would show y'all no anger, pity, favor, mercy, nothing. Not until all y'all's strength is gone. That still ain't happened, but it's coming. He's about to melt all of his people down, all of us, with bread of adversity and water of affliction. And when we're crying out to him when there is no water, then that's when he's going to respond to the sound of our cries. And we're going to see our teacher with our own eyes and hear a voice here behind us saying, this is the way you should go, and abandon all your idols of silver and gold. That's Isaiah 30. Okay. Because they have committed, which I have not commanded them, even I know, and I am a witness, says Yahweh. Thus shall you also speak to the Shemaiah the Nehelamite, saying, thus speak Yahweh, the Allah of Yasharel, saying, because you have sent seraphim in the name of the people that are at Jerusalem to Zephaniah the son of Maaseiah the priest, and to all the priests, and saying, Yahuwah has made you priests instead of Jehoiada the priest, that you should be officers in the house of Yahweh. For every man that is mad and makes himself a prophet, you should put him into prison and in stocks. Now, therefore, why have you not reproved Jeremiah of Anathoth, when makes himself a prophet to you? For therefore he sent to us in Babel, saying that this captivity is going to be long. Long. See, that's what y'all ain't getting, man. I hate to talk like that, but y'all gotta wake up, man. Y'all gotta wake up and start speaking his truth, and not outside of Isaiah 8:20. When you start speaking outside of Isaiah 8:20, you're in the dark. His prophecy is not, end time prophecy is not sealed or secret. He tells us every detail that is to come. Then came the word of Yahweh to Jeremiah, saying, send to all them the captivity, that says Yahweh concerning Shemaiah the Nehelamite, because that Shemaiah has prophesied to you, I sent him not, and he caused you to trust in a lie. Therefore, thus says Yahweh, behold, I will punish Shemaiah the Nehelamite and his seed. He shall not have a man to dwell among this people, neither shall he behold the good that I will do for my people, says Yahweh, because he has taught rebellion against Yahweh. Shalom.